Since 1980, American voters have only once denied an incumbent president a second term. But in 2020, amidst a coronavirus pandemic and a shrinking economy, President Donald Trump is behind in the opinion polls just months out from election day. The latest CNN poll shows Democratic challenger Joe Biden ahead with 50% support to Trump's 46%. The gap's narrowed since June when Biden led by 14%, but most polling still points to a Biden victory. David Frum's been following the Trump presidency closely and is a lifelong Republican who worked in the George W. Bush administration. His new book is called Trumpocalypse. David Frum, what do you mean by Trumpocalypse?
Well, ordinarily we use the word apocalypse to mean the end of the world, some terrible catastrophe, zombies attack. But literally, an apocalypse is a revelation, a glimpse of the future. And that's what I've tried to offer in Trumpocalypse, a glimpse of how the Trump presidency will likely end and what is likely to come after.
Well, how do you think the Trump presidency will end?
It is going to end in trauma. We are having a pandemic, we are having an economic crisis, and we have a president who has made clear he intends to use all kinds of means, legitimate, not legitimate, ruthless, legal, illegal, to hold on to power any way he can. I don't think there's ever been an American election where people have asked the question, if the loser loses, will the loser leave? But that is the question people are asking now.
Do you think he will lose the election?
I think it's almost literally impossible for President Trump to win a majority of the popular vote. So he will next time almost certainly lose by more millions of votes than he lost the popular vote to Hillary Clinton in 2016. But the American political system is not very representative. It is possible for minorities to defeat majorities. And of course, the president's made it clear that he's going to try to sabotage the vote, especially the mail-in part of the vote.
If Trump loses, and, as you say, who knows what might happen, is it possible for America to even bounce back from where it is?
I think at home there is a good possibility of a recovery, but I worry most about America's position in the world. Friends and allies will remember for 20, 30, 40 years the things that have happened, and they have to have a question mark about how valid America's word is.
Let's say America is in terminal decline and China becomes the dominant world power. How will that world look?
I don't think China could ever be the dominant world power, but what we could move to is a world where no power is dominant. And we've seen worlds like that before. Those are worlds with a lot of conflict. We have all, those of us of a certain age, grown up under the umbrella of an American security system. To be in a world in which there are multiple powers, many of them not democratic, that feel themselves able to act without worrying too much about the United States and its democratic partners, that's a world without stability. That's a world without predictability.
There are a whole lot of Americans who voted for Trump because they feel let down by the political establishment. Their lives have become harder over the years. They feel that they're not seen and they're not heard. How should things change so that their needs are addressed?
Demagogues don't become demagogues by talking about things people don't care about. They become demagogues by talking about things that people do care about. So one of the things that was very striking when you go back and read Donald Trump's speeches from 2016 is how often he talked about the opioid epidemic that was ravaging the country, a subject that went undiscussed by most Republicans and most Democrats in 2016. So he found things, but of course he had nothing to offer. So people who want to rebuild a responsible politics need to learn the lesson of Donald Trump, which is if you ignore messages that are important, you will get ugly consequences. And the lesson we have to take from the recent past is that if we neglect issues, we are going to empower the most destructive elements in the political system.
David Frum, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.